Ladies, thank you for joining me. This is actually the reason why I started this group because I wanted to talk about spiritual authority and midlife reinvention. So I have some notes here in case y'all see me looking. I do. Um, I want to talk a little bit about spiritual authority and midlife reinvention because it means a lot to me because it's the space that I'm at and the space that I'm helping other women to navigate. And that's why we are here today. So thank you for joining me. Thank you, Substack, for joining me. I appreciate everyone that watches, that subscribes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You don't know what it means to me. So there's a kind of authority that doesn't come from age, achievement, or titles. And this comes in a woman's life, usually right around midlife, where the old permissions just stop working. So, you're always asking for permissions, the permission to stay small, the permission to be agreeable, the permission to shrink your voice so others feel comfortable. All of those permissions, they got to go. It's just like the old contracts. We are in a season and a time that the old contracts are being voided. Our contracts are up. It is done. And and sometimes when the permission to shrink your voice so others feel comfortable, something ancient arises. And it's something that has been waiting for decades. And so spiritual authority isn't loud. It's not loud. It doesn't come from age, achievement, or title. It comes from the soul. It comes from the soul. And when midlife is when that authority finally stops whispering and begins to speak in a voice that you can no longer ignore. Because, ladies, I know that we ignore those voices because I have ignored them. That time is over. So, spiritual authority is the moment you realize you are no longer living from the outside in. You are no longer shaped by the expectations that once defined you. You are no longer negotiating your worth with people who are never meant to be keepers of your destiny. You understand what I'm saying? I'm telling you, when this thing hit me and when it started flowing through me and God, gave me these transmissions, it was like, oh my God, it's like a reclamation of your original blueprint. So it is a remembrance, which is why I call my tribe the remembered, because my community remember who TF you are. Um, we are in there consciously remembering. We're consciously remembering. Spiritual authority is the moment you realize you are not living from the inside out. You are no longer shaped by expectations that once defined you. You are no longer negotiating your worth with people who were never meant to be keepers of your destiny. And I know I said that twice, but I really wanted y'all to hear it. Spiritual authority is the reclamation of your original blueprint. Now I'm going to move on. The one you carried before conditioning, before survival mode, before you learned to dim your own brilliance to keep peace. In midlife, the veil thins. The soul gets louder. The ancestors lean in. If you haven't been able to connect with your ancestors before, this is your time. And these are some of the things that we will be doing in this space. I'm going to do some things in this space, but I also have a membership where I do things in there. So if you want to go deeper, come join me in the membership because I only have so much time and I can only do so much. And y'all know I'm still in that recovery phase. So I have to do it how it can work. So at midlife, the veil thins, the soul gets louder, the ancestors lean in. You begin to feel the weight of every woman who came before you. And y'all, this is so real because is what's been happening for me. I've been feeling my ancestors and understanding some of their journey. Because as you are reclaiming your original blueprint, and it's the one that before you were conditioned, before you were walking in the matrix, before you did everything that everybody told you to do, before you were in survival mode, before you learned to dim your own brilliance to keep the peace, all of that, before all of that, before all of that. Spiritual authority is not about becoming fearless. It is about becoming aligned. Aligned. Yeah, hear that. Aligned. Aligned with yourself. Aligned with your gifts. Aligned with your dreams and your desires. Aligned. Aligned. It's the moment you stop abandoning yourself. Now, I did a video a couple of days ago about polite self abandonment. Maybe, yeah, a couple of days ago, I think. Polite self abandonment. And it's huge. I would go back and watch that because that explains a whole lot of what I'm not going to explain today. It's the moment you stop outsourcing your intuition. Outsourcing your intuition. Listen to that. You stop outsourcing your intuition. It's the moment you stop asking yourself, is it okay if I change and start declaring it's time? It's time. Midlife reinvention is not a crisis. It is not a crisis. It is a rite of passage, a sacred initiation into the woman who trusts her knowing. So you got to know that you trust your knowing. You got to trust it. A woman who honors her boundaries. So you don't allow people access to you that uh that cross your boundaries. Everyone is not allowed access to you and you got to understand that. The woman who no longer trusts you, stop putting your body through all kind of changes and allowing yourself to be sick when you know what to do. There are things that you can do to keep your body healthy, and you know what they are, but you won't do them. You know that you eat too much, and you know that you don't eat clean, and you know that you don't get enough exercise, that your body is craving and wanting some type of exercise. You might not be able to do regular exercises, but you can do chair yoga. Anybody can do chair yoga. There are things that you can do. So don't, sit around here and think that, there's nothing you can do because there is. Many times that is because you have allowed yourself to slip into that depression and then you can't move. That is the issue. And so when you step, the woman who understands that her desires are divine instructions, not inconveniences. Because a lot of times whew, a lot of times we will cast our desires to the side, you know, in favor of something else, somebody else's desires. But they're divine instructions. They are what it is that you want to do. When you step into spiritual authority, you stop performing and you start embodying. And that is the space that I want all of us to get to. You stop explaining and you start expressing because it's time out for all of this fucking explaining. It's over. You stop shrinking and you start standing in the truth that was always yours. The world feels it because a woman in her spiritual authority is a force of nature, a force of nature, not loud, not aggressive, but unmistakably sovereign. When you are unmistakably sovereign, you know who the hell you are. Nobody can tell you who you are. Unmistakably sovereign. This is the power of midlife. This is the rebirth. This is the moment you return to yourself and you realize, I am no longer becoming. I am remembering. I am rise always yours. Yes. And I just read an article on Substack about this young lady wrote that she didn't understand her white privilege. And as I was uh, writing this post and this script, as I was writing this and doing research on it, and I read that it was like, wow. So she didn't understand. She said that she grew up poor and beat, and she didn't understand that even though she grew up poor, her station was still that she was privileged. And so I talked about that actually, and I shared on it because I know that I'm privileged, not even being born in the privileged class, what they call the privileged class, white. I'm not white. Not white, don't wanna be, ain't never been. I mean, don't wanna be and would like to come back again. If I gotta come back human again, I'd like to be black again. I'm good. So, but I recognize that because I said, I have friends that I said, girl, you better use your privilege, because the thing of it is if you don't know it's privilege, it's not privilege for you. You know what I mean? Because you're not utilizing it for what you can use it for. So to me, I said, I know that I'm privileged. So I don't have a worry. I'm not concerned at all. I know who I am. And I know that I am privileged because, because number one, I'm God's child. Number two, I am that I am. You understand? So I know and I walk in my privilege. I don't have a problem with it at all. However, certain people, like I read this article, she said that because, they grew up really poor and they couldn't go and live where they wanted to live. But when you think about that, she said that that would be more a class thing. And so when you pick up and stand up in your spiritual authority, you are a force of nature and you begin to really reinvent yourself. And it doesn't, I say midlife reinvention because that's the popular thing that is going on right now. But you can reinvent yourself. And to be honest, I've done it a few times, and I usually start with my hair. So just know that, this authority, it was never given to you. It was already yours. And so if you are ready to work with me, you're ready to work with me. I offer sacred listening, private remembrance sessions. So if that is something that is interesting to you, that we will come together and come a force of nature that I have those single sessions. And then I also have, you can get a 4-pack or an 8-pack of sessions if that's something that interests you. But however, and then I also have my membership, which I do workshops weekly, I mean, monthly, monthly workshops, permission revoked for my membership. Remember who you are. Yes, you are. So come and join the Remembered. So I'll drop the link to the workshop, next one that's coming up. And I would love to see you in the room. There are no replays because I do them every month. So again, thank you so much for watching. I absolutely love y'all. And if y'all have anything you want to share or any questions or anything, feel free to DM me wherever you see this video. So again, thank you so much for joining. I hope your date night and anything else, whenever you catch this, it is amazing.